What if I told you that the difference between a life of quiet desperation and one of extraordinary wealth begins with 13 simple principles? Principles not born of fantasy, but forged in the minds of the world's most successful men. I spent over 25 years interviewing giants of industry, Carnegie, Ford, Edison, and what I discovered became the blueprint for success itself. In this message, I speak to you directly, not from theory, but from experience. This is not just a list of ideas. It is a philosophy of achievement, a code of conduct for those who dare to dream and are bold enough to act. Whether you seek riches, power, influence, or peace of mind, it all begins here. Lean in closely, for what you're about to learn can alter the entire course of your life. These are the 13 principles of success, and if you apply them, they will not fail you. Desire, the starting point of all achievement. My friends, let us begin where all greatness begins, with desire. Not a wish, not a fleeting hope, but a pulsating, burning desire that consumes your every thought and fuels your every action. You see, the world does not reward casual interest. It responds to intensity, to the man or woman who knows precisely what they want and is willing to give everything they've got in exchange for it. This is not theory. It is law. Every fortune ever amassed, every empire ever built, every great legacy ever forged began with the fire of a definite desire. I say to you now, examine your own ambitions. Is there within you a hunger so fierce that it keeps you awake at night? That causes you to leap out of bed in the morning, heart racing with possibility? If not, you must kindle that flame. You must stoke it daily through repetition, through visualization, through emotional attachment. A weak desire brings weak results, just as a small fire produces little heat. But a burning desire, that is a force that bends the universe in your favor. When I sat with the great industrialists of my time, Carnegie, Edison, Ford, they did not speak of luck. They spoke of vision. They spoke of decisions made and goals pursued with a singleness of purpose that brooked no interference. And when failures came, and they always do, it was desire that held them steady. It was that inner flame that refused to die. Desire must be definite. You cannot vaguely wish to be successful and expect results. You must know exactly what you want, how much money, what kind of business, the precise life you wish to lead. Define it in detail. Write it out. Read it morning and night. Wrap emotion around it. Feel it as though it already exists. This is the seed from which all riches grow. Desire, when harnessed, transforms the average man into a force of nature. It rewires the brain. It enlists the subconscious mind. It speaks to infinite intelligence and says, "This is what I demand of life." And life, though it may test you, will ultimately yield. There is magic in believing, yes, but belief is born of desire. No man believes in that which he does not first want with all his heart. So I urge you, make your wants clear, make them strong, feed them with daily attention, speak them aloud, and then act. Act with the conviction of a soul possessed by purpose. For this is where success begins and where failure flees, with desire, the kind that grips your soul and refuses to let go. Faith, visualization, and belief in the attainment of desire. Faith is the foundation of all miracles and mysteries that cannot be explained by science. It is the element, the chemical, that when blended with prayer or desire, gives it its action in the realm of the infinite. Without faith, desire is a weak wish, but with faith, desire becomes power. I speak now from my own heart and experience when I say, faith is not a passive hope. It is an active, deliberate belief that what you want is already yours. To possess faith is to hold in your mind a picture so vivid, so real, that your subconscious cannot distinguish it from reality. You must see yourself in possession of your goal long before the world sees it. When you can visualize with such clarity that your heart responds with confidence, when your soul stirs with certainty, that is faith. How do you build such faith? Through repetition of affirmation. You must tell your mind over and over what you believe and who you are becoming. Say aloud, morning and night, I am becoming the person I must be to achieve the success I desire. This, repeated with emotion, carves new pathways in your subconscious and replaces doubt with confidence. The human mind is a fertile garden. If you do not plant seeds of belief and success, weeds of fear and failure will grow automatically. Faith is the act of planting, deliberately, persistently. It is the constant watering of your vision through words, thoughts, and actions. Speak only of what you want. Think only of what you desire. Act only in harmony with the future you see. Understand this. Every man who has ever achieved greatness first believed he could. Carnegie believed, Edison believed, Ford believed. And they did so long before the world called them geniuses. They acted in faith. They built their empires in their minds before the first brick was laid. They made no room for doubt. You must do the same. Banish skepticism. There is no place for it in the heart of a dreamer. Doubt and faith cannot dwell in the same house. Evict one, and the other will reign. Choose faith. When I wrote these words in Think and Grow Rich, I did so not to impress, but to instruct. I had witnessed with my own eyes the way belief-shaped fortunes created opportunities and overturned impossibilities. Faith is the eternal elixir. It gives life, power, and action to your thoughts. With it, you command the forces of the universe. Without it, even your greatest desires remain caged in the realm of fantasy. So I ask you now, do you believe in the vision you hold? Not faintly, not occasionally, but with every fiber of your being? If you do, then you are already halfway to its attainment. Walk boldly, think abundantly, speak confidently. With faith, there is no limit. Autosuggestion, the medium for influencing the subconscious mind. Autosuggestion is the bridge between the conscious mind and the subconscious. It is the channel through which you may voluntarily feed your mind with thoughts of a creative nature or thoughts of failure and fear. You are using autosuggestion every moment of every day, whether you realize it or not. The difference between success and failure lies in whether you are using it with intention or letting it use you. Let me speak plainly. What you repeatedly say to yourself, especially with emotion, becomes part of your inner blueprint. Your subconscious accepts it as truth and begins to work relentlessly to make it real in your external world. This is not mysticism. It is psychology. It is law. The subconscious mind does not judge, does not argue, and does not reason. It accepts what is repeatedly told to it, especially when spoken with belief. If you tell yourself each morning, I am growing in confidence, wealth, and strength, and you say it with feeling, your subconscious will begin to shape your reality to match that image. But if you say, I'm not good enough, or I'll never be wealthy, even casually or jokingly, your subconscious will take those as commands as well, and it will fulfill them with frightening precision. This is why the written statement of your definite chief aim must be read aloud daily with emotion and conviction. This is why affirmations are not silly phrases for the weak, but mighty tools for the powerful. You must take control of your internal dialogue. You must guard the gateway of your mind as a sentry guards a fortress. Let no thought enter that does not serve your purpose. When I studied over 25,000 men and women, I found that those who succeeded spoke differently to themselves than those who failed. The successful used the language of power. They told themselves they would achieve their goals. They saw themselves already in possession of what they desired, and they impressed these beliefs upon their minds until those thoughts became facts in the world. Make no mistake, autosuggestion is not magic, but it is the mechanism through which you command the infinite intelligence within. It is the means by which you mold your beliefs and, in turn, your destiny. You must become the master of the words you speak, both aloud and in silence. Every word is a seed. Plant only those that you want to see blossom in your life. Repeat your affirmations in the morning when your mind is fresh and at night when it is most receptive. Write them down. Speak them aloud. See the image clearly. Feel the emotion deeply. And do it persistently until doubt withers and certainty takes its place. The man who controls his internal language controls his fate. There is no exception. Start now. Speak life, wealth, strength, purpose. Speak it until it becomes your nature. For the subconscious cannot resist the voice that is confident, consistent, and aligned with desire. This is autosuggestion. This is your power. Use it. Specialized knowledge, personal experiences, or observations. General knowledge, no matter how vast, is of little practical use in the pursuit of riches. A man may know the history of every empire, the theories of every philosopher, or the formulas of every scientist, and yet remain broke, frustrated, and unfulfilled. Why? Because knowledge alone is not power. It becomes power only when it is organized and applied with purpose. And the kind of knowledge that leads to fortune is specialized knowledge. Let me be clear. It is not the amount of information you hold that determines your success. It is the relevance and the application of that information to a definite aim. Specialized knowledge is personal. It may be acquired through experience, observation, or focused study, but it must be useful to your chief purpose. If you desire wealth, you must become intensely knowledgeable about the field in which you intend to serve others, whether that be sales, finance, real estate, invention, or some other form of enterprise. You must seek out the precise knowledge that applies to your craft. You need not possess all the specialized knowledge yourself. One of the great truths I learned from the titans of industry is that a wise man surrounds himself with other minds. Andrew Carnegie, for example, knew little of the technical aspects of steel production, yet he built a fortune because he assembled a mastermind group of men who possessed the specialized knowledge he lacked. This is not a weakness, it is intelligence. The modern world is too vast, too complex for one man to know everything. But you must know what you need to know, and you must know where to find it when you need it. And more than that, you must be ready to act on it. The value of specialized knowledge lies not in its storage, but in its strategic use. You may acquire it from books, from experience, from mentors, from trial and error, but it must be purposeful. The man who drifts from subject to subject, learning much but applying little, will find himself exhausted and poor. The man who focuses, who learns deeply in one field and applies that knowledge with determination, will find the doors of fortune begin to open. If you lack the knowledge required to reach your goal, begin today to find it. Take courses, read, volunteer, ask questions, seek out those who have done what you aim to do and study them. Trade your time, your effort, your humility for their wisdom. Build your bank of specialized knowledge until it becomes your greatest asset. The world pays generously for competence. It pays extravagantly for excellence. But it ignores the generalist who waits for luck. Be the expert. Be the go-to man. Let your knowledge be so specific, so refined, so applicable, that others must come to you. And when they do, wealth will follow. This is the law. Specialized knowledge, when combined with desire, faith, and organized planning, becomes an unstoppable force. Apply it, and watch your fortunes change. Imagination, the workshop of the mind. All that man creates begins in the mind. Every invention, every skyscraper, every empire, every fortune, it all begins as an idea. And the source of that idea, the birthplace of all human achievement, is the imagination. I call it the workshop of the mind, for it is here that man shapes raw thoughts into riches. Here is where the invisible becomes visible, where the intangible takes form, and where the impossible begins to bend toward reality. There are two forms of imagination, synthetic and creative. Synthetic imagination is the faculty through which you rearrange existing ideas, concepts, or plans into new combinations. This is the kind most often used in business, in invention, in marketing, and in building plans. It takes what is known and repurposes it for a definite aim. Creative imagination, however, is something more mysterious. It is the direct channel to infinite intelligence. It is through creative imagination that new ideas are born, those flashes of inspiration that come without warning, unbidden and powerful. The greatest discoveries in the history of mankind have come not from logic, but from moments of inspired thought. Now, whether synthetic or creative, imagination must be used. It must be exercised, developed, and directed toward your definite purpose. Too many men allow their imaginations to grow idle. They imagine the worst rather than the best. They see limitations instead of possibilities. They use their minds to fear failure rather than to design success. This is a tragedy, for imagination is the only faculty you possess that is truly without limit. If you desire wealth, you must train your imagination to serve that end. Picture yourself already in possession of that which you desire. See the home, the business, the freedom, the impact you wish to create. Let your vision be vivid, detailed, and repeated daily. Do not be vague. Be specific. Imagination gives shape to desire, and shape gives direction to effort. Understand that imagination, when linked with faith and backed by action, becomes magnetized. It attracts the resources, people, and circumstances necessary to bring your vision into form. But it must be clear, and it must be backed by belief. No man creates a fortune by accident. He first sees it in his mind and then walks into it with deliberate steps. When Thomas Edison imagined a world lit by electricity, he did not know how he would do it, but he believed it was possible, and he used his imagination to devise over 10,000 attempts before finding success. When Henry Ford imagined a car affordable to every working man, the idea was ridiculed. But he persisted in that vision until it drove the world forward. The riches you seek are not beyond your reach. They are beyond your current thinking. Stretch the boundaries of your mind. Allow yourself to imagine more, boldly, vividly, consistently. That is the beginning of all transformation. The imagination is not a toy. It is your most powerful tool. Use it as such, and it will build for you a life of substance and significance. Organized planning, the crystallization of desire into action. Desire, no matter how burning, will wither and fade without a plan. Faith, no matter how unshakable, cannot build an empire alone. Imagination, no matter how vivid, requires direction. It is here that the principle of organized planning enters the picture, where dreams are forged into deeds and intentions are transmuted into results. Let us be clear. Wishing will not bring riches, but a definite desire, backed by a definite plan, consistently executed with unwavering belief, will. You must not only know what you want, but also how you intend to get it. Even if your initial plan proves weak or inadequate, the mere act of planning sets in motion the gears of the universe. You can revise a plan. You can correct course, but you cannot revise a desire that is never acted upon. Most failures come not from lack of desire, but from lack of planning. They leap without a ladder, hoping success will catch them. But success is not a product of chaos. It is the result of structure. You must take that white-hot desire and crystallize it into organized, intelligent action. Write down your plan. Make it specific. Define your steps. Assign timelines. Anticipate obstacles and how you will overcome them. Most importantly, begin at once, whether you feel ready or not. No plan is perfect, but persistence in execution is better than perfection delayed. If your plan fails, and it likely will at some stage, do not mourn it. Revise it. Improve it. Begin again with renewed intelligence. Failure is only a signal that your plan needs refinement, not that your goal is unreachable. Surround yourself with a team, a mastermind of individuals who complement your strengths and challenge your thinking. Great fortunes are never built alone. And above all, let your actions be daily, not occasional. It is not the grand gesture, but the steady application of organized effort that builds empires. Desire gives you the spark. Faith keeps it burning. Imagination fans the flame. But it is organized planning that builds the furnace to harness that fire. With a clear plan and a resolute will, there is no goal beyond your grasp. Decision, the mastery of procrastination. One of the greatest weaknesses of mankind is the habit of leaving decisions for tomorrow, of allowing hesitation to plant roots in the soil where action should have bloomed. I have studied hundreds of successful men, and I tell you this with absolute certainty. Every one of them made decisions quickly and changed them slowly, if ever. This habit of decisiveness is not a trait you are born with. It is a discipline, a deliberate act of will, a mark of mental mastery. Procrastination is the silent assassin of dreams. It disguises itself in rationality. Let me think on it a little longer. Perhaps tomorrow is better. I need more time. But beneath its gentle tone lies a deadly force that paralyzes ambition and erodes faith. If you allow this specter to reside in your mind, it will rob you not just of wealth, but of your power, your confidence, your very identity. To achieve great success, you must become a person of decision. Not reckless decision, but firm decision. When your desire is clear and your plan is formed, you must act. The moment you allow others to sway your choices, to hesitate in fear of criticism, rejection, or failure, you lose your grip on the steering wheel of your own life. You become a passenger in your own journey. The world makes way for the man or woman who knows where they are going and is determined to get there. And the clearest sign of that inner certainty is your ability to decide quickly, boldly, and consistently. Opportunities do not linger. They appear and then they vanish. Life does not wait for those who hesitate. You must train your mind to trust itself, to weigh the facts, summon the courage, and decide. Each act of decision strengthens your spirit. Each delay weakens it. And understand this: indecision is a decision, one that invites failure by default. Build the habit of quick, firm decisions in the small matters, and you will possess the power to make bold choices in the grand ones. Know what you want. Decide that you will have it, and act with such authority that the universe itself begins to respond. The successful build their lives with bricks of decision. The unsuccessful live in houses made of excuses. Choose your material wisely. Decide now, and let that decision be the force that carries you to greatness. Persistence, the sustained effort necessary to induce faith. There is no substitute for persistence. It is the one quality that takes the place of all others when all else fails. Talent alone will not bring success. Intelligence alone will not secure riches. Even enthusiasm, though it may ignite a flame, will flicker and die without the fuel of persistent effort. Persistence is the sustained heartbeat of desire, the unrelenting force that transforms intention into reality. I have seen men with no remarkable skill, no prestigious education, and no great resources achieve extraordinary wealth solely because they refused to give up. They encountered resistance, rejection, and ridicule, yet they continued. While others retreated at the first sign of difficulty, these men pressed forward again and again until the barriers broke and the gates opened. Their persistence made them unstoppable. You must understand that the path to success is often narrow and steep. It is lined with obstacles meant to test your will. The moment you decide on a definite purpose, the world will challenge your resolve. Adversity will come, not to defeat you, but to ask, how badly do you want it? Your answer must be action. Your response must be persistence. Faith does not flourish in a moment. It grows through repeated acts of courage. Each time you persist in the face of discouragement, you strengthen your belief in yourself and your goal. It is not enough to wish or to hope. You must persist. You must try again when your plans fail. You must rise after every fall. Every setback is simply a lesson, and every delay a test of endurance. Do not mistake temporary defeat for permanent failure. Too many surrender their dreams at the first sign of difficulty, never realizing that success often hides behind one more push, one more call, one more attempt. Your breakthrough could lie just beyond the next hill. Will you stop or will you persist? If you cultivate persistence, you cannot be defeated. Others may have more skill, more wealth, more opportunity, but they will falter if they lack persistence. You, armed with relentless determination, will endure. You will outlast your doubt. You will move through fear, and you will arrive at the destination others only dared to imagine. Make persistence your closest companion, your most faithful ally. Nurture it. Protect it. Let it burn within you like a sacred flame, for with persistence, all things become possible, and the gates of success, no matter how firmly shut, will swing open in your favor. Power of the mastermind, the driving force. The principle of the mastermind is one of the most profound truths in the pursuit of success. It is the driving force that propels individuals toward their goals, multiplying their efforts and abilities exponentially. This principle asserts that when two or more minds come together in harmony, working toward a common purpose, the power of collective energy becomes far greater than the sum of individual efforts. This synergy creates an invisible force that transcends ordinary human potential. At the heart of the mastermind is the concept of cooperation. The power is not derived from competition, but from the alliance of like-minded individuals who share a singular vision. Each person brings their unique talents, perspectives, and strengths to the table, and through mutual trust and collaboration, they create a dynamic energy that accelerates progress. This energy is the driving force that pushes individuals beyond their limits, encouraging growth, innovation, and achievement. One of the greatest benefits of the mastermind is the ability to draw upon the experiences, knowledge, and resources of others. When you form a mastermind group, you open the door to a wealth of ideas, strategies, and insights that would otherwise be unavailable to you. This exchange of wisdom and expertise enables each member to avoid common pitfalls and adopt proven methods for success. It also creates an environment in which challenges are viewed as opportunities for collective problem solving, and solutions are found more quickly and effectively than when working alone. The key to the success of the mastermind lies in the harmony of its members. It is not enough to merely gather a group of people. They must work in unity and maintain a high level of mutual respect and support. Each person must be willing to share openly, contribute selflessly, and trust in the abilities of others. When harmony is present, the mastermind becomes an unstoppable force that can accomplish remarkable feats. In practical terms, the mastermind can take many forms. It may be a formal group of individuals meeting regularly to discuss goals, share progress, and offer support. Or it may be an informal partnership between 2 or 3 people who collaborate closely on a specific project. Regardless of its structure, the power of the mastermind is undeniable. When harnessed correctly, it accelerates success and magnifies the results of individual efforts. In conclusion, the power of the mastermind is a principle that should not be underestimated. It is a force that taps into the potential of collective intelligence, harnessing the strengths of multiple individuals to achieve greatness. By surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals who share your vision, you unlock the driving force that propels you toward success. Through cooperation, mutual respect, and harmony, the mastermind creates an environment where extraordinary achievements become not only possible, but inevitable. 10. The mystery of sex transmutation, the transformation of sexual energy. Let me now speak to you of a force so powerful, so vital, that it has shaped the rise of every great man who has left his mark upon this world. I speak of sexual energy, not in the base, physical sense alone, but as the very essence of life itself. It is the force of creation, the surge of vitality that, when understood and mastered, becomes the spark that ignites genius. Sex transmutation is the conscious redirection of this tremendous energy from the physical to the creative, the productive, and the spiritual. Most men are slaves to this force, allowing it to flow without purpose, without direction. But the wise, those who achieve enduring greatness, have learned to channel this power into their work, their art, their vision. This energy, when transmuted, fuels ambition, sharpens the mind, and sustains unwavering focus. It becomes the source of tireless effort and boundless enthusiasm. It is no coincidence that the world's greatest thinkers, leaders, and inventors have been men of intense passion, men who, whether knowingly or not, had mastered the art of transmuting this force into achievement. I tell you now, do not waste this energy on fleeting pleasures. Direct it, guard it, transform it. When you feel it stirring within you, do not suppress it, but rather lift it upward into your purpose. Let it strengthen your will, feed your imagination, and drive you toward your definite chief aim. You see, this is not merely a matter of physical discipline. It is a mental alchemy. You must develop emotional maturity, the ability to delay gratification, and choose the path of power over the path of ease. As you do, you will begin to notice something extraordinary. Your magnetism will grow. People will be drawn to you. Opportunities will appear as if summoned. That is the natural result of concentrated sexual energy. It radiates from you in the form of charisma, influence, and creative force. The mystery of sex transmutation is not a mystery at all to those who apply it. It is the gateway to high achievement, the unseen engine of greatness. And I say to you now, master this force, and you will hold in your hands one of the greatest keys to personal power that life affords. 11th, the subconscious mind, the connecting link. Let us now turn our attention to one of the most astonishing and yet often neglected forces at your command, the subconscious mind. This faculty, though invisible, is the connecting link between the finite mind of man and infinite intelligence. It is through the subconscious that our thoughts take root and grow, and it is through this medium that we communicate with the universal source of power that responds to faith, belief, and emotion. The subconscious mind is always awake, always receptive, and always at work. It never sleeps. It records every thought, every feeling, and every impression you entertain, whether good or bad, whether desired or feared. You may not be conscious of it, but your dominant thoughts, those which you allow to dwell in your mind with feeling and repetition, are being passed to this silent partner. And once received, the subconscious accepts them without question and begins to translate them into physical reality. You must understand this truth. The subconscious mind does not reason. It does not question. It does not judge. It merely acts. Whatever thoughts you plant there, whether seeds of hope or of fear, it will nurture and bring to fruition. This is why it is imperative to guard your mind, to feed it only the thoughts you wish to see materialized in your life. If you desire success, then think success. Speak it, feel it, live as though it is already yours, and your subconscious will go to work orchestrating the circumstances necessary to bring it to you. Repetition is the key that opens the door to the subconscious. Through repeated affirmations, emotionalized desire, and vivid visualization, you may impress upon your subconscious any idea you choose. When that idea is received, it becomes a guiding influence in your actions, your decisions, and your destiny. This faculty also holds the power to access knowledge far beyond our conscious grasp. It taps into infinite intelligence, that great storehouse of wisdom to which all minds are connected. In moments of quiet or deep concentration, flashes of insight or inspiration may come to you, not from your conscious reasoning, but through this invisible bridge between you and the infinite. In the end, the subconscious mind is not just a mental function. It is the seat of power. Control it, and you control your fate. Cultivate it with faith, clarity, and purpose, and it shall reward you with a life shaped by your highest vision. This, my friend, is the true path to greatness. 12. The brain, a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. Let me now call your attention to a truth that most overlook. The human brain is not merely an organ of logic and memory, but a finely tuned broadcasting and receiving station for thought. Yes, your brain sends out vibrations of energy, and it also receives them. It is through this mechanism that you connect with other minds and with the great source of infinite intelligence itself. Every thought you think sets up a vibration. This vibration radiates outward, invisible to the naked eye, but very real nonetheless. And what you send out, you attract in return. Thoughts of faith, courage, confidence, and success will draw to you people, circumstances, and opportunities of the same nature. On the other hand, if your mind is filled with fear, doubt, and failure, you are broadcasting those vibrations, and the universe will respond in kind. You must understand that this law operates whether you are aware of it or not. Your brain is constantly transmitting. It does not stop. You are sending out signals to the world every moment, and those signals are shaping your experience. But just as you transmit, so too do you receive. Your mind is sensitive to the thoughts of others, especially when amplified by strong emotion and belief. This is why I urge you to be selective in your associations. Surround yourself with minds that are positive, focused, and driven toward success. The energy of others will either lift you or drag you down, depending on the frequency they operate on. Your brain will absorb the dominant thoughts of your environment, whether you like it or not. When two or more minds come together in harmony, what I call a mastermind alliance, their individual brain waves blend and amplify. The result is an increase in creative energy and inspiration, often beyond the capacity of any one individual. That is the power of multiple brains operating on the same high frequency, tuned to the same goal. The great geniuses, leaders, and inventors of the world, consciously or unconsciously, tapped into this law. They knew how to keep their mental receiver tuned to the station of success. They filled their minds with faith, desire, and persistence, and by doing so, they harmonized with the vibrations of opportunity. So I tell you now, take command of your thoughts. Think only those which you wish to attract. Send out signals of purpose, belief, and determination, and your brain will become a magnet for all you seek. 13. The sixth sense, the door to the temple of wisdom. There comes a time, after one has mastered the preceding principles of success, when a new faculty begins to stir, quietly, almost imperceptibly. I speak now of the sixth sense, that silent guide, the doorway to the temple of wisdom. It is the crown jewel of the human mind, the apex of creative thought, and the bridge between man's finite understanding and infinite intelligence. Though it defies full explanation, it is as real as the beating of your heart. The sixth sense is not taught, it is awakened. It operates through the subconscious mind, and it brings with it flashes of insight, warnings of danger, and revelations of opportunity. You may not see it, you may not hear it, but you will feel it, that sudden, unmistakable knowing that defies logic. This faculty does not consult reason or fact. It draws instead from a higher realm, one that connects all knowledge, all truth, and all wisdom. When you have disciplined your mind, when faith has replaced fear, when desire burns bright, when persistence has built strength, and when the subconscious is your ally, then the sixth sense will begin to manifest. You will notice it in moments of stillness or in times of great need. It may whisper to you in the night or strike you with a bolt of understanding in the midst of uncertainty. It is the voice of infinite intelligence speaking through you, using your subconscious as its messenger. Some call it intuition, others refer to it as a hunch. But I tell you, it is the guiding force of the most successful men and women throughout history. The greatest inventors, leaders, and thinkers have listened to this voice. They trusted it when reason failed them. They obeyed it even when others doubted. And they prospered because of it. You must train yourself to be receptive to this force. A quiet mind, free from the noise of fear and doubt, becomes fertile ground for the sixth sense to take root. Spend time in reflection, meditate, observe. But above all, trust. The more you act upon this guidance, the clearer and more consistent it will become. In truth, the sixth sense is not a mystery. It is a birthright. And when you align with it, you step into your full power as a creator of your destiny. This, my friend, is where genius begins. As we bring this exploration of success principles to a close, it is important to remember that these teachings are not mere concepts, but powerful tools that can transform your life when applied with consistency and conviction. Each principle, from the power of the mastermind to the mystery of the sixth sense, holds within it the potential to unlock new opportunities, enhance your personal growth, and accelerate your journey toward achieving your highest goals. Success is not a destination, but a continuous process of growth, learning, and adaptation. It requires a clear vision, a strong belief in your abilities, and the willingness to harness both your conscious and subconscious mind in pursuit of your desires. The principles we've discussed serve as a roadmap guiding you toward the mastery of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Remember, the greatest achievements are born from the power of thought, the courage to act on those thoughts, and the unwavering belief that success is not only possible but inevitable. As you apply these principles, trust in your ability to shape your reality and know that you are always connected to a greater source of wisdom and power. The path to success is within you. Now, go and claim it.